Well, good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. It is a Monday morning and lots making news at the start of a brand new week. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here is a look at the top stories in the headlines. Prime Minister Modi on a two-day visit to his parliamentary constituency Varanasi to spend his birthday today with school children. To inaugurate or lay foundation stone for development projects worth over 500 crore rupees on Tuesday. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu in Malta on the second leg of his three-nation European tour addresses Indian diaspora and hails their contribution in strengthening ties between the two nations. Delegation-level talks with the President of Malta slated today. Nine-phased panchayat elections announced in Jammu and Kashmir, voting to begin from 17th of November and the entire process to be completed by 17th of December. Last panchayat polls in the state were held in 2011. ISRO launches the two observation satellites of the UK as part of its commercial engagement. Launch vehicle PSLV C-42 injects a satellite into precise orbit. Prime Minister congratulates team, says it showcases India's prowess in competitive space business. And Indian boxers bag 3 gold medals at the Ahmed Combat tournament in Turkey. Simranjeet Kaur, Monica and Bhagyavati Khatri win their respective bouts in 64 kg, 48 kg and 81 kg category. Sonia Lathir gets bronze in 57 kg bout. Our top story this Monday morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a two-day visit to his parliamentary constituency Varanasi from today. And during his visit, the Prime Minister will visit Narur village, where he will interact with the children of a primary school aided by non-profit organization Room to Read. Later, he will interact with the students of Kashi Vidyapeeth and children assisted by them on the premises of a diesel locomotive works. The Prime Minister will also watch a film on his childhood with the differently abled. On Tuesday, the Prime Minister will inaugurate or lay the foundation of various development projects worth over 500 crore rupees. Among the projects to be inaugurated are the Integrated Power Development Scheme for Purani Kashi and an Atal Incubation Center at BHU. The Prime Minister will later address a gathering as well. And India's first smart fence pilot project will be launched by Home Minister Rajnath Singh today. The project that deploys the laser-activated fences and technology-enabled barriers to plug vulnerable gaps along frontiers will be launched in the 5 kilometer each patches along the Indo-Pak border. The Home Minister will travel to a forward area of Jammu to reach and launch the project. The new system provides for round-the-clock surveillance on the border and in different weather conditions, be it dust storm, fog or rain. The laser fence and other gadgets have been integrated and CCTV-like feed will be given to the BSF post so that immediate action can be taken against any intrusion or infiltration attempt. The initiative is part of the comprehensive integrated border management system proposed to be deployed at these two borders by the centre as part of its decision to completely seal the two borders to stop infiltration and illegal migration. And in the future, it will be deployed along the 2,400 kilometre of India's border with Pakistan and Bangladesh. News from Jammu and Kashmir, there will be 9-phased elections to the panchayats in Jammu and Kashmir. The elections will be held beginning 17th of November and the next phases are 20th of November, 24th of November, 27th and 29th of November and 1st, 4th, 8th and 11th of December. The polling hours will be 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the entire poll process will be completed by 17th of December. The elections will be held on a non-party basis, and the counting of votes will take place on the same day or the very next day of voting. The election expenditure has been increased in these elections to 20,000 rupees for the sarpanches and 5,000 rupees for panches. The polls will be held through ballot, and migrant Kashmiri Pandits can also vote through postal ballots. The last elections to the panchayats in the state took place in 2011.
The election would be held in 9 phases. I'll repeat, the elections would be held in 9 phases. The date of issuance of the first phase notification in the Gazette is 23rd of October. 23rd of October. If you notice, the counting for the municipal elections has been scheduled for 20th of October, and this process is going to commence for the panchayat elections on 23rd of October, that is Tuesday. There are about 4,500 panchayat halkas in the state in 316 blocks. About 4,500 panchayat halkas. There are about 35,000 punch constituencies. 35,000 punch constituencies. And the number of electors as per the draft roll is 58 lakhs. This election is going to be through ballot papers, and ballot boxes would be required. We are getting additional ballot boxes from the neighboring states, and these ballot boxes would be prepared for the purpose of the poll. There will be 2 kinds of ballot papers, because you are aware that amendments have been carried out recently where the sarpanch has also been made directly elected. That means the voters directly vote for the sarpanch, and therefore there will be 2 ballot papers which every voter would be marking. One would be of the panch of the particular ward, the panch constituency, and another one would be the sarpanch for the panchayat halka.
And on to some other news. Voters will now have a mobile application to check poll code violations by political parties and candidates. The day elections are announced in Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan and Mizoram. Voters in these states will get to use a mobile application. The C-Vigil mobile application gives the common man the opportunity to click pictures and take videos of violations and send it to the concerned election officers. Further, the application can triangulate the exact location of the complaint using longitude and latitude information, and feedback about action taken will be given to the complainant within 100 minutes. Chief Election Commissioner O.P. Rawat said that as a pilot project, the application was used in Bengaluru city during the Karnataka Assembly polls. He said that now this will be a bigger project ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. The application also has an inbuilt option which will help the people tick a box to keep their name and their cell phone numbers as secret. And on to the other top story. ISRO on a Sunday launched 2 observation satellites of the UK into the orbit from its spaceport at Sriharikota. The satellites were Nova SAR, intended to be used for forest mapping, land use and ice cover monitoring, flood and disaster monitoring, and S14 to be used for surveying resources, environment monitoring, urban management and disaster monitoring. And terming the mission as an excellent success, ISRO Chairman K. Sivan said that the launch vehicle PSLV C-42 injected the satellites into the orbits 17 minutes and 45 seconds after the lift-off and placed them in a sub-synchronous orbit 583 kilometers from the Earth. Both the satellites were launched as per commercial arrangement between the UK-based company and ISRO's commercial wing Antrix Corporation Limited. Within the next 6 months, 10 satellite missions and 8 launch vehicle missions would be launched once every 2 weeks. ISRO's moon mission would be launched on 3rd of January next year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated the team on the successful launch, saying that it showcases India's prowess in competitive space business.
PSLV C-42 mission and launched 2 customer satellites precisely into the defined orbit. That is, with respect to the 583 kilometer whatever we defined, we could achieve within 1 kilometer in one side, 3 kilometer the other side. It is in our space parlance, it is much more than excellent. It is like that. That way, I would say this is a excellent the mission, and is a very historic that mission.
What the mission today it has achieved, as per the navigation system, the NAIMS POD, preliminary orbit determination, the achieved orbit is 581.6. As Chairman has already put it, it's only 1.4 kilometers in the perigee, that is the nearest point to the Earth. And also on the apogee, other side, it is 588.9, which is again within 3 kilometers. Whereas the specification allows up to a dispersion of plus minus 20 kilometers. So this shows the very precise, accurate injection capability of the PSLV. And this is the 44th flight of the PSLV. And then we have the PSLV in its generic configuration, XL, that is the mighty version of the PSLV, and the Corolone version. And this configuration today, what we have flown is the Corolone configuration, and that was the 12th of such Corolone flight we are flying today. And with this success, it has already registered 42 successful flights, and thus the reliability also has gone above 0.97. So it was a wonderful mission.
And on to Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu's Europe tour. He is in Malta on the second leg of his tour, and on Sunday he interacted with the Indian diaspora in Malta. Addressing the Indian community, he hailed their contribution in strengthening India's relations with the southern European island country. And speaking at the function, he said that wherever Indian community has gone in the world, they have prospered, integrated well with the societies, and also brought home name and fame to the land. And earlier, the Vice President was warmly received by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade Promotion of Malta, Carmelo Abela, upon his arrival in Malta. And from Serbia, Vice President Naidu is on a 3-nation tour to Serbia, Malta and Romania to boost ties with these European countries.
The vast and growing Indian diaspora is doing well everywhere, because I always feel that it's my conviction. The Indian land, the soil, the water, the air has something special in it. Every section of the Indian population, irrespective of their profession, they have some talent or other hidden. And if a proper opportunity is given, they will excel. That is proving to be real now. In the entire world, wherever Indian community has gone, they have prospered, they have integrated with their respective societies. They also brought name and fame to their motherland, India, and also they are becoming economically strong, and they are also doing something back home to their respective country.
And on the last leg of his visit to Serbia on a Sunday, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu visited the historic place known as the Monument to the Unknown Hero in the Serbian capital, Belgrade. The Vice President, along with the parliamentary delegation, went around the memorial where he offered a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier at Mount Avala and paid his respects. The memorial located atop Mount Avala was built to commemorate the sacrifice, valor and courage of all the victims of the First World War. It was built in 1934-38 at the place where an unknown Serbian soldier was buried. Vice President Naidu also offered a floral tribute to Mahatma Gandhi's bust in Belgrade. Later, the Vice President and the delegation attended the working lunch hosted by the Serbian Prime Minister before going to Malta. And Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu was extended the rare honour of addressing the special session of the Parliament of the Republic of Serbia in Belgrade on Saturday. It was in the same hall of the National Assembly of Serbia that former Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru had addressed the world leaders while launching the non-aligned movement along with the veteran leader of Yugoslavia, Marshal Tito. And in his hour-long address to the lawmakers of the host country, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu fondly recalled the close affinity and shared vision with which the leaders of both the countries played a key role in launching the non-alignment movement. He said that relations between the two countries are deeply rooted in history. And referring to the International Day of Democracy, Naidu gave a detailed account of the steady growth and consolidation of parliamentary democracy in India and highlighting the importance of democracy for participatory development. He quoted Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru from his speech at the same venue in 1961. The Vice President received a huge standing ovation on the conclusion of his address to the lawmakers of Serbia.
It was here the first NORM summit took place in 1961. Prime Minister of India, then Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, other world leaders of non-aligned movement addressed the NORM summit in this hallowed hall, along with the then leader of Yugoslavia, Sri Marshal Tito. Sentinels of people's welfare, relationship between India and Serbia are deeply rooted in history. From the early days of independent India, both the countries laid great emphasis on non-aligned movement and contributed much to creation of a new democratic world order, particularly for the post-colonial third world that challenged the concept of the bipolar world. Numerous high-level exchange of visits between both the countries during the period is a testimony to the shared belief between both of our countries.
And in Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back after the break. BJP on Sunday organized a Kavyanjali program in the memory of a later former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee in the national capital. And at the program, various eminent poets and speakers through their poems said that tributes to Vajpayee are continuing and paying his tributes to the former Prime Minister. Home Minister Rajnath Singh said that Vajpayee's personality was acceptable and popular among the masses. He also mentioned about the diplomatic skills of the late Prime Minister. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj also attended the program. She talked about Vajpayee's positive attitude. She said that his speeches were historic and general masses were always eager to listen to them. Founding leader of the BJP, Vajpayee passed away on 16th of August at the age of 93.
पहला अवसर था कि जब आदरणीय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी भारत के प्रधानमंत्री बने तो 2003 में जब चीन की राजधानी बीजिंग गए थे तो उस समय चीन ने यह घोषणा की और कहा अब चीन सिक्किम पर कभी दावा पेश नहीं करेगा। सिक्किम का भारत में विलय हो चुका है और सिक्किम चीन का नहीं है बल्कि भारत का है। पहली बार उसने अपना दावा छोड़ दिया। यह कूटनीतिक कुशलता होती है, इसे डिप्लोमेटिक स्किल कहते हैं अंग्रेजी में। यह आदरणीय अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी।
16 अगस्त की शाम को जब अटल जी के निधन का समाचार आया तो अलग अलग लोगों के मन में अलग अलग प्रतिक्रियाएं हुई। किसी ने कहा एक वरिष्ठ राजनेता चला गया, किसी ने कहा एक सफल राजनयिक चला गया, किसी ने कहा अद्वितीय वक्ता चला गया। लेकिन संपूर्ण हिंदी विश्व ने, संपूर्ण हिंदी जगत ने कहा हिंदी का पुरोधा चला गया और पूरे विश्व के सभी कवियों ने कहा हमारी बिरादरी का एक साथी चला गया।
And Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Sunday said that India is the only country where all major religions of the world, diverse cultures, customs and cuisines are found, and people should see and experience this through Incredible India. Singh was speaking after inaugurating the 12-day-long Festival of Tourism, Paryatan Parv 2018 at Rajpath Lawns in New Delhi. And speaking on the occasion, Tourism Minister KJ Alphonse called upon everyone to see, experience and get transformed by travelling across India. The idea behind the festival is to draw focus of the benefits of tourism, showcasing the cultural diversity of the country and reinforcing the principle of a tourism for all.
मैं यह मानता हूं कि अपने देश के लोगों को बल्कि ज़्यादा भारत का भ्रमण करने की आवश्यकता होगी, ताकि जो भी हमारी कल्चर कितनी रिच है, कल्चरल हेरिटेज हमारी कितनी रिच है, इस बात की भी उन्हें जानकारी मिल सके। नेचुरल ब्यूटी का जहाँ तक सवाल है, नेचुरल ब्यूटी के मामले में भी भारत दुनिया में बेजोड़ है।
लास्ट से हम शुरू किया है, हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव है भारत निवासी भारत को देखना है। ये हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर का एक्सोर्टेशन है, हमारा बाहर भी जाओ, इंडिया का बाहर भी जाओ, बट लेकिन भारत भी देखना है, ये है हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव। अभी तो दिल्ली में ये प्रोग्राम हो रहा है, हमारा सारा स्टेट्स में 29 स्टेट्स में हो रहा है, यूनियन टेरिटरीज में हो रहा है। हमारा लास्ट ईयर में 1100 प्रोग्राम्स था, इस साल में 3500 प्रोग्राम्स हो रहा है।
And the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, or the RSS, will organize a 3-day lecture series on the future of Bharat and RSS perspective at Vigyan Bhavan today. It will be inaugurated by RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat in the evening. He will interact and present the RSS views on various contemporary issues of national importance. The 3-day event will see participation from eminent citizens, businessmen, politicians, dharm gurus, journalists, missionaries from different nations, and people from all walks of life. And India and the US armies on Sunday began a 2-week joint military exercise in the state of Uttarakhand. Yudh Abhyas 2018 is one of the longest-running joint military training exercises and a major bilateral defense cooperation endeavor between India and the US. This is the 14th edition of the joint military exercise, which is hosted alternately by the both countries. And set to conclude on 29th of September, the combined exercise simulates scenarios where both the nations are working together in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operations in mountainous terrain. The 2-week exercise is seeing the participation of about 350 personnel of the US Army and a similar strength from the Garud division of the Indian Army. And our top international focus now, the world's strongest storm this year, Typhoon Mangkhut, continued its path of destruction across Southeast Asia over the weekend. Now, South China is bearing the brunt of the typhoon, which is deluging areas with heavy rains and wind speeds of up to 162 kilometers per hour. 2 people have been killed in southern China and millions of lives have been put on standstill as flights are cancelled, trains have stopped and major roads are closed. Residents in the province of Guangdong have been locked down in the highest alert. More than 2.45 million people have been evacuated from here. Mangkhut reached mainland China on Sunday afternoon after plummeting Hong Kong and killing dozens of people in the Philippines. The storm carved a deadly trail across the region, killing at least 64 people in the Philippines, and many of the Philippines' deaths were caused by landslides, with dozens more still believed to be buried beneath the deluge. And as the Mangkhut marched towards the Chinese mainland, Hong Kong was also hit by fierce winds that tore off roofs and downed trees. Hong Kong's weather observatory issued its highest storm alert, and the city was all but shut down as transport was suspended and torrential rains flooded roads and buildings. Winds of 173 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 223 kilometers per hour were reported. There were no reported deaths in Hong Kong, a city well prepared for the tropical cyclones. Mangkhut is expected to gradually weaken into a tropical depression by Tuesday as it continues to move inland. And on to sports news now. Good news, Indian boxers Simranjeet Kaur, Monica and Bhagyavati Kachri won gold medals at the Ahmed tournament in Turkey. Simranjeet defeated Turkey's Sema Kalistan in the 64-kilogram weight category to clinch the gold medal. And Monica defeated Aisi Kagire in the 48 kg category, while Bhagyavati got the better of Selma in the 81 kilogram category to fetch the top honours. And in the 57 kg category, Sonia Lather settled for the bronze medal. And on to cricket now. Pakistan defeated Hong Kong by 8 wickets in the Asia Cup at the Dubai International Stadium yesterday. Pakistani opener Imamul Haq scored 50 runs, while Babar Azam scored 33 runs to steer the Pakistan team to a comfortable victory. And for Hong Kong, Ehsan Khan picked up 2 wickets. Batting first, Hong Kong was all out for 116 runs in just 37.1 overs. Azaz Khan was the highest scorer with just 27 runs. And for Pakistan, Usman Khan was the pick of the bowlers as he took 3 wickets, while Hassan Ali and Shadab Khan picked up 2 wickets apiece. And Sri Lanka will face Afghanistan today, while India will face Hong Kong tomorrow. And that's the wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks so much for watching.